everyone, it's Modern Day Nana. Okay, I kind of cleaned up my mess from making all the bowls for the wedding. That will be in the last video if you want to see it. We just grunged them up a bunch. And I wanted to show you, I had gotten this, I don't think I ever actually showed it to you like in the pack. I don't remember how much it was. I got it on Amazon, but it was at least twice this size. And what ends up happening is it's like dehydrated moss. And it's real moss. Oh, I'm like, here, smell. It's real moss. And I don't think it's been colored or anything. So let's real quick resaturate one, and then we'll get to making some moss balls. I've already made a bunch. I'm down to just this little bin. I thought, I don't know, I'd make like 4 or 5 per table, and there's 22 tables, so it's super easy to do. Anyway, so while we're talking, let's just put this in. So I'm just got like a saucepan of water, doesn't matter, you know, just get some water out of the tap, and I'm just going to stick it in. And what's going to start happening, of course, is the moss is going to start soaking up the water. So we can just leave it in there for a little bit. And when it gets all hydrated, then I'm going to lay it out in the sun. I've got a couple of plastic baggies stretched out. I'm going to lay it out in the sun. And it will dry probably out in the hot sun, probably a couple hours. I'll go over and turn it a few times. I'll take the camera over there when we do. But yeah, just start letting it get saturated, and then we can pull it apart and lay it out, and it will make, this little brick will make a big basket full of moss then to use for our projects. I think I've showed you in other videos like a big basket of one of these, but anyway, so let's just do one for now. My hands are a wreck. I did all those bowls in the last video. I just finished them up. So I thought, well, it's nice. I have the day off. Let's get some things done. Oh, see how it broke apart? So it just starts breaking apart. And we just stick it down in the water until it gets good and saturated. And then we can go lay it over on our whatever you've got. You know, I didn't want it straight in the grass because then I'm going to get grass in it. But, I mean, hey, it is moss, so, you know, that'd be okay too. No biggie. But, yeah, this is a nice way to add to that, our Hobbit-themed wedding. And very, obviously, woodsy. See, so that was a pretty big pot of water, you know. Still wet, still dry here in the middle, so we'll just keep putting it in there. If you had a bigger thing, this is just what I grabbed. No biggie, but when you can pull it apart and it is not got any dry spots in it like that just did, then you're good to go. And then we can just basically throw it over here. I mean, you could bring it out if you wanted to speed your process. But just do this, you know, a day or so ahead, or whenever you have time. Get yourself some of this. If you're doing it this way now, I'll show you some other packages of moss that I picked up along the way. I'm just going to go throw this over on the plastic bag. And I'll probably kind of get my hands cleaned in the process, which is totally fine, right? Not going to hurt to see there it's still kind of dry. Although, you know, that would be fine. So, yeah, so this, you know, moss, I would think in anything foresty you're doing, anything, you know, trying to make any kind of woodland thing, it would be a must. And it's really been a while. I can look back at my own stuff. It's really been some years because some of the moss balls I have probably about 15 or 20 of them I had from my daughter's wedding that I made. And Lord, that's been 12 years, 12, 13 years ago, something like that. So I don't know, then it started kind of becoming mainstream where they started putting moss on everything, which I love. So, and you can do whatever you want, of course. Doesn't matter if it's, popular or not. All right, I think this is soaked. So this is really in here. And I'm going to take and just give it a squeeze. Oh, it smells like dirt. It smells so good, you guys. I love it. I'm going to give it a squeeze. And I'm going to go, and this doesn't look like a lot. But once it starts drying, it's like you girls or guys with curly hair. I have several of them in my family. It's like you don't look like you got a lot of hair until it dries, and then it's like, whoo, especially if it's, humid. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that process, super duper easy. But now if you are just buying moss, just already pre-packaged, which I have bought quite a few that way, then we just are good to go. We don't have to mess with that process. Oh, okay, well see, this is that moss dried. Okay? So some of the balls I've already done had a different kind of moss because they were, like I said, for my daughter's wedding. But I just kind of threw all my extras in here. This is this big bag of moss from Hobby Lobby, but it's basically, I think I got this off of Amazon. It's just basically sheet moss. See, it comes off in so it's real moss. Okay, so I'm just taking and kind of breaking up all my extras. It's a good way to use all those extra pieces. Now this is reindeer moss. It's just like a nice airy. Okay, so we'll kind of break that up and we'll put that in here too. I didn't do that in the others, so I think this was probably Walmart. So whatever look you are going for is what you'll use. Now this, I actually got some bags of this when Joann's was going out of business last year, I think. And I'm not going to mix this in, but we might want to dot this around. We'll just see what we do. I think I got maybe 4 bags of that. So I'm just going to tear this all up, and this will give us a nice, kind of a nice mixture of moss. Like I said, some of those other ones I did were just mainly the one we just rehydrated, but that's all right. They can be all different. Here's some Spanish moss in here. We can tear it up. The Spanish moss, I think, is probably about the messiest. Now, if you wanted to, if you didn't like the way it was stringing around, you could just do some cutting of it, of the Spanish moss. I don't think you need to do it to the other. But if you wanted to break it up a little bit more, then you can by just pulling it apart. Just get your scissors in there. Just your old, utility. Oh, Wilfred is messing with the poles on the camera. Well, I think we solved the mystery with him. He's somebody across town's cat, but we apparently are his part-time family. So I'm like, okay, dude. Because it all started out, I might have told you about it. It all started out, we have a gray cat that she's outside. She won't come in. She was born, I think, actually under our shed. There was like 3. And he might be one of them. He might be her brother. Anyway, so she's been here the whole time. And he came probably about 6 months ago, came around, which was probably, you know what? Probably about the time Bambino passed away. I didn't put that together. If you guys know cats, you know, and you have anything to add to that, let me know. Bambino was in the house, though, for the last little bit. Pretty much. I guess he did still come out some. Oh, here he is. Marking his territory. Anyway, I call him Wilfred Brimley because I think that's who he looks like. Remember the guy that he used to be in an old show, but then he forgot what it was. It was like a family show. I don't know if he was like the grandpa or something. But then he did all those diabetes commercials. That's how he says it. Instead of diabetes. Which, whatever, right? We all have our different ways. If you have diabetes. So when I saw him, I was like, you really look like Wilfred Brimley. So that's what I'm going to call you, Wilfred. I'm sure he has a other real name. Alright. Yeah. Yeah, we're just kind of breaking it up. Wilfred's putting his 2 cents into the situation. I love the feel of this. It's spongy. So cute. It's just so interesting, isn't it? How even many kinds of moss there are. There's a little bit of purple in there. Hey, buddy. There's some just, you know, roots from the brown where they harvested it. All right. You get the idea. You get the idea. I can pull apart any other parts that... And I was pretty ample with how I'm doing this. The other ones I initially did, I used that the actual... Oh gosh, no, this is not a potty. No, but oh my God, he is huge. I don't know what he was gonna do, but no, sir. Looks like a comfy bed too. All right, okay, you get the point. All right, so all we need now is some string. I had used twine. This is just like a garden twine. I had used like the natural colored, like jute on some of them. I didn't want it really, really showing up because this is how we're going to wrap it around. Let me show you what I did. Now, I've done different things. But basically, if you've watched any of my videos, you know me. I had used old papers in some of them, but I've done a gazillion of these, and just crumpled up the paper, just, you know, recycling. And I kind of ran out of paper, and I had a bunch of loose, actually some of it was already rolled up, because I think I was thinking of weaving something or making a rug. I don't know. This was a sheet. So see, under it is some paper. You could use whatever you want to make a ball. I literally used just what I had. I like to do that. I like to use the junk I have. So then I wrapped some strips of sheet around it, even put some tape on it. Okay, you could use string, you know. And this is what, see, here's just other fabric. This was a piece of fabric. Then I taped it to make. So I basically made small, medium, and large. I don't have any of the large out here. But that is basically what I used. I just used scraps, stuff I didn't have a use for, little bits of fabric I didn't have a use for, and crumpled them up. Took some that I made strips out of, rolled it up, made a ball. Whatever size ball you want. Put a little tape, you could put a little glue. I just happen to have the tape. So here's what I am going to do, and I have been doing. I think I have one in here. I don't know why. I think it got super dark on me or something, and I just had to throw it in the house. Oh well, I'll find it. Alright, so why don't we move this aside? And what I'm going to do, because I'm not wearing gloves or anything, which I could, but they're so cumbersome, I am going to just kind of set, like I said, I was being pretty liberal with my moss. I'm just going to set a mound of moss down on the table, and I'm just going to use my glue gun and just woody-doody. You know, this is one of those hot ones. I'm going to stick my ball, whatever you decide. You could use styrofoam, but there's no way I was going to spend a bunch of money on styrofoam, and it melts with the hot glue, right? So, you know, why buy styrofoam unless you just don't have any old, like if you get an old sheet that gets a rip in it or something, you know, save it for stuff like this. This is a sheet. So, we have this. I just put that down in there. What did I do with my string? Here it is. Let it set a second, you know, no need to burn yourself. And then I'm just going to put a nice glob of glue on top. You know, that's a technical term, glob. A glob of glue. And I am going to put another mound of moss. Okay, so we have our mound of moss on the bottom, on top, like I said. Now, if you don't like this variegated look, just use one kind of moss. Okay? And I'm just going to pick it up. Make sure not to burn yourself, because you know the glue will go right through this moss. And just start. And before I go trying to pull it tight, I'm just going to wrap it a few times. You know, wrap it around 2 or 3 times. And then, this is what I'm doing. I'm just giving it a nice tight tug. And then I'm just going to go around it and tighten it up. Now, if you don't like, for now I'm going to leave this. If you don't like the messy, well, you probably might not be doing this if you don't like the messy look. If you don't like the messy, mossy look, but you want the moss, you could take your scissors and you could trim it out. Now, I've just got a dish, actually it's a trash can, with old bark in it, just from the yard. This is what I was doing, just to make sure we get a super duper good seal. I don't think we'd have to do it, but this is what I'm doing. So, just cut your twine off, and where I'm going to glue it down at, I'm going to glue right on that piece of twine, and then I'm just going to lay a little piece of bark, because then it just adds to the overall look anyway. And you could, you know, you could stick lots of pieces of bark on here, or several pieces. For Christmas last year, let's do it, let's put one over here somewhere. For Christmas last year, I made some bark ornaments that turned out really cute. So that is it, guys. Like I said, I'm going to leave these nice and hairy. But see, you could trim it down if you wanted. Let's do one more. Here's one of these big guys. Same thing. Lay a pile of moss down. Have your ball ready. Okay? And again, these are not, certainly not like a perfect round or anything like that. They're just, well, like a rock would be that had collected moss over time. Now, if you want to wear gloves or the finger protectors, let me show you what to do in the case if you end up having some kind of holes where you can see your underneath. Let's see if we, oh yeah, there's one. Okay, so again, I'm just kind of lightly, go around this 2 or 3 times, get it on there, and then start pulling it nice and tight. Like I'm pulling it as tight as it'll go. If it breaks, no biggie, start over. And I'm just going to roll this around and see, it's nice. The green blends in really well, but so does the jute. If you don't have green, don't go out and think you got to buy something special. Okay, and this will go a long way. Yeah, and these are fun after the wedding. These will be great. Well, I was going to show you guys. Well, let me show you. After the wedding, these are great to decorate with, you know, depending on your theme. So say if there was a hole here and you've already got, just take you a little, you know, take you a little chunk of moss and then take your string and roll over it and you're set. Like I said, these would be great. I'm going to do the same thing. Just going to put a little glue up there on that end of that string and put myself a little piece of bark there. Okay, and these will be super cute. So we'll have our wildflowers sitting on a big moss covered book that's a darker color than this, and then we'll have a bunch of old books, candles. It'll be pretty. I think those will go together. That's just from the last video. Sorry guys, if you didn't see how I made those. Alright, so that is that. That is that. And I have got, like I said, I've done, I tried to do like at least 4 or 5 per table, and there are 20 tables, so yeah. I've been, you know, yeah, making moss balls here periodically. Alright, so we've got that moss drying. We've got these going. All I have left, I wouldn't even have to do all these. This is all I have left, is what's in here. So, looks like I've got about 25, 30, something like that. These are all small ones. I got the big ones done, but this is all I did, guys. You know, we're just using what we've got, not spending extra money, and you know, taking what we can from nature, like the bark, and it'd be super cute. I actually bought, and we might go back and do it, when I was at Hobby Lobby yesterday, I think it was, or the day before. I think I told you in the last video, we had, they had their fall stuff out, so I got a bunch of little bags of pine cones, you know, for like 40% off. So anyway, okay, alrighty. So, these are super expensive. I don't think they ever go on sale. For a little handful, they're super expensive. These are so much cooler, I feel like. And you could use any kind of moss you wanted, okay? So I just wanted to bring that to you. That's what I'm working on. I'm going to get these done. And I will see you guys soon with another video. Like and subscribe. We're in full wedding mode. We have like a month to go. But actually, I'm kind of getting things wrapped up for that. So we're going to do some more Halloween stuff real soon. All right. Take care of yourselves. I love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.